And we're back. Another
Hello,
podcast.
ladies and gentlemen. It's so nice to see you, each and every one of you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
Loud.
We are here for you. This is your show today, and we're going to make it all about you. So come tell us what you want for your show today.
Of course, Rise here. I shouldn't have said that out loud. Uh, okay, another podcast, another week, another episode of Frieren. So I guess for the folks out there who are probably wondering, and I get this out of the way now because I didn't address this the first episode, but yeah, we are behind on Frieren. Yeah, we are aware. Let Spear know that season 2 is over. We will hopefully make our way through this show as fast as we can. Not much is on the horizon. There is there is the Chainsaw Man movie I haven't watched yet, and then the Avatar movie whenever that drops. I could have sworn I heard that the Avatar movie leaked online somewhere.
Are you asking me?
No, I just saying I swear I heard that it leaked somewhere online. Probably either that's true or okay, yeah. So the movie is coming out on Paramount Plus October 9th.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Yeah, we'll get to Frieren reviewing it kind of late because it was kind of something I recommended really late, but you know, it is what it is. I wonder what's going on, if there's anything maybe you know more about this. Have you seen anything more about the Dragon Prince stuff or Dragon King or whatever you're gonna call it?
No, not in a long time.
Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I'll just look up just to make sure. Nothing serious. What that is come up. Oh wait, they got 3 seasons for the Dragon King. Are you serious? How'd they get that? So the Kickstarter is over. Okay, man, not much going on about it. Okay, so there might not be anything this year.
It might take a little while, right? They just got it approved, pretty much.
Yeah, so like we'll get around to the Rize arc because the Chainsaw Man anime. I don't even know when the anime's coming back, but the movie is canon, so I want to be able to watch what happens in that arc before the anime shows back up. Uh, if it does come back, I don't know why they would do the movie and did not do anything else. Okay, so there is another arc for Chainsaw Man gonna come out. Okay, so I just want to make sure I knew, like, there was an announcement for that. It was announced, but there was no date given. So again, that might just be a year or two. We should still have plenty of time to watch the movie. All right. I guess all that house cleaning aside, episode 7 of Frieren, and really quick, I wanted to just I don't remember the beginning of these episodes too well. Don't know why. It's not like I didn't enjoy it. There's something in particular that I wanted to harp on really quick.
Okay, go for it.
Let me just find it. So the very beginning of the episode apparently appears to have we apparently get a flashback of Frieren and her old gang, and Frieren with her with a fake text about her master. And she kind of just talking about pretty much how Flame is kind of just like vanished into myth, at this point. Like nobody other than her even knew she existed. This is
Mhm.
interesting. And I guess it gets kind of remarking on like I think it's kind of this episode's kind of get asked multiple times that like will they even be remembered after a certain amount of time has passed. Which I thought was kind of sad. I even thought about like I wonder like if Frieren will ever be remembered or will she become myth when she passes.
I'm not sure. She certainly they've certainly made sure that there's enough statues of her.
I mean, people they barely even recognize her. But she wakes up
You know what I
apparently.
mean? Though, like they can't remember her specifically, but she's certainly got her share of statues built in her honor. So maybe those would be enough to help.
No, well, I mean, yeah, that was the point of what Himmel did was have their faces everywhere. But after that dream, we found out the dream. We see that Frieren wakes up on her own, and apparently this is a momentous occasion for Fern, because Fern usually has to wake her up, but Frieren woke up on her own. And Stark, the newbie of the crew, was like, "What is that a big deal?" And Fern's like, we gotta reward her," and I thought that was adorable because like they're feeding her and then giving her a shoulder rub apparently. And I just thought it was like, really? I mean, I guess I understand why she's doing this because she's been with Freeman this entire time, and she's always had to wake her up. I'm actually kind of curious if that's signifying anything. I don't really know. It just seems kind of funny that it's such a rare occasion.
It struck me as just kind of motherly, like she's just another example of her being her mom. Like, you woke up early, you deserve a reward. Back rub from mom, or shoulder rub or whatever you want to call it.
But then after that, we see that they are. Oh yeah, this is the part. So we see that they're helping a random merchant get through a mountain road that had a landslide, and they're helping him out. And Stark's like wondering, like, do you think it'd be better if you had used your magic to get us over there? And Freeman's like, well, Fern says that. What about everybody else? And what I want to talk about, and this just kind of latches on to last episode in terms of Fern's interactions with Stark. This episode, I think, freaking proves my point. I don't know why she is so rude to him. This Stark does not have insecurities around talking with people. I still firmly believe that because Fern was rude to him, like very freaking rude. Like half the things she said it was uncalled for. Like I sat there like being upset with her because like I don't know why she was so rude to him. I was like it was uncalled for. Like I don't
Is she
care.
keeping him, kind of holding him at bay because like doesn't want to get too close to him? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't depict tsundere qualities from her doing that, but let me just really look up what that word means and see what traits they have, just to make sure I'm not overlooking something. Tsundere, the term a character who has loving dairy feelings for their love interest, but is unable to be honest with them, so they end up acting distant, standoffish, or stuck up to conceal them. I don't know. It doesn't. I know you're gonna make an argument that that's what she's doing right there, but I really, she's very rude. This doesn't come off as like, because usually there's other thing too that I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't be able to fight it if she had displayed this at some point, or in terms of like when she does do
Mhm.
that, she'll like turn away to the camera and you'll see her displaying her real feelings. She hasn't done any of that. She didn't do any of that. In fact, whenever Stark was asking her to drop the Mister, like she went really rude on him, and then after kind of like started kind of being aloof of like the you're such a pain. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you so
I think she's
rude to
holding him.
him?
I think she's holding him at bay.
How is that
I
holding
think
him at bay? She's very rude. This isn't like just being like, unfriendly. She's being rude and mean to him. Like, very mean, like, beyond Helga Bataki mean. And yeah, I pulled that reference out.
Wow.
Like, I'm telling you, like, it's very mean. It's not even, I, I don't see any side of her liking him. Like, I'm being real about it, just based off of what I've seen.
Hmm.
She seems so done with him for some really weird reason. It like, it doesn't seem. It seems like I don't know why she's doing it. It just seems really freaking rude. And all he asked her was to drop the mister, and she became extremely rude to him after that. I'm like, why? And they're around the same age, according to him. Maybe she doesn't believe that. I don't know. It just seems so weird.
Hmm.
Like,
I, I could get behind that. Yeah.
it just like, this is like why I don't think he's really. I mean, maybe he's got some self issues with his own self, but like talking to people, I don't think he does. He seems very open about that. He doesn't seem to like hide from people. He seems to be very forthright with people. It just, to me, is like, at least when it comes to her, she's extremely rude to him, and I don't understand half the reason for it.
I still think it's a thing where I still think that she has feelings for him.
They barely know each other. Why would she suddenly fall in love with him?
That's probably why she's holding him at bay, because she's a very controlled person and she doesn't understand why things are feeling a little out of her normal measured approach to life.
Holding that bait doesn't mean you need to be mean to them or rude, and calling people a pain. She actually literally
Yeah.
says he's a pain, regardless of. I mean,
It's such a trope, isn't it? I mean, for like people that end up falling in love to have that kind of approach.
I guess, but at the same time, like, I mean, yes, but at the same time, it's like, this seems very freaking rude, like beyond the "I have feelings for you, I'm embarrassed about it" type of thing.
Uh-huh.
And she doesn't show any of that. Like, I mean, again, it's like those types of people typically they'll turn to the camera and you'll know their real feelings. She doesn't do any of that. She doesn't do that. She doesn't do that once actually. There
I
isn't
mean,
a moment.
time will tell, right?
I mean, I guess, but at the same time, she's still so rude. It's like all he asked her, and this is like the only thing he asked her: drop the mister. When
Mm-hmm.
we're around the same age, and she got like her entire tone and temperament changed. Called him a pain, and it goes back to Mr. Stark, but acting polite. I'm just like, what is going on with her? Like, a part of me thinks is like that that's her real personality, and the polite one isn't. I don't know. It is just like, still don't think he's awkward around them, and or at least I still think he has a right if he is being awkward around them. Like, she is rude. Like she is like literally attacking his self esteem if he has any left. It's like that was like, and then her face. It seemed so like where is it?
And it's just like it's not a lot of incidents yet either.
Oh, he's asking her to be friendlier, and she's like, "You're such a pain." I'm like, why? Why act like that? Like, I don't think I've seen that kind of meanness from the tsundere types. I mean, they are mean, but they're like not like this mean. It's just more like get away from me mean. This is just like I don't like you mean.
Mm.
This is what at least seems like to me. It's just like it seems very much I don't like you mean versus like get away from me mean
So
or whatever
if
like
we're
that.
playing devil's advocate a little bit here, like why wouldn't she like him?
I mean, the same reason why would she like him? If I'm being real, I mean, they don't know each other. I mean, as far
He's
as
a
I
nice
know,
guy. He's a nice guy. He's heroic. He's about her age. Um, he he's very strong and capable. He's nice to her. He offered to buy her ice cream. He's someone that she might as well get along with because they're going to be traveling together for a long time. So she might as well, do her best to get along with him. So she's not stupid or a toxic person in general. So there must be a reason that she's acting like this, right?
I don't know. A part of me just wants to believe that she's being cruel on purpose. I don't know. Because to me, it's like I would buy it if she at least if she at least had a moment where she turned around and her true feelings come through, if there are any true feelings. But she does none of that. She doesn't do any, and maybe she's the type of girl that does that. But I don't know. I notice what tsunderes do is like that's what the type of tsundere they do. I mean, unless she's a different type of dairy, but I don't really know. So there's dairy, but I think that's not what she is. Tsundere. Kudere. What is this? Kudere. Cool dairy in Western media. Really? Is a term for characters who initially act cold, expressionless, and indifferent to hide their feelings, but becomes cute, lovely-dovey, and dairy around the love interest after getting closer to them. This doesn't I mean, she has some of this, but at the same time, she's close to him and yet still acts like a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make the argument maybe she's kudere, but she doesn't display the second half. Like at all.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I'll give a carrot. If anything, she's rather indifferent to him. But at the same time, she's still it's like, why is she so rude? She doesn't need to be this mean. Even like in the aspect, even in the absence of her having feelings for him, it's like she doesn't need to be this mean. Like you at least agree with me on that one, right?
Oh yeah, but that's why I said there's got to be a reason for it, because she's not stupid or toxic or mean in general. She's acting out of character. So I'm like, I don't think it's because she specifically hates him, because there's no reasonable thing that you can point at. Like the plot hasn't suggested anything that she actually dislikes about him.
I mean, he was tricking the village people. She's definitely not yandere. That's a different type. We're not even gonna get into that
one. He wasn't really tricking the village people. He didn't say he did anything that he didn't do.
What the heck is Himedari? Is that princess? Yeah, that's definitely not her. The closest you could make for her is a kudere, but at the same time, she's not displaying the other part of that. Most of the time, she's definitely cold, expressionless, and indifferent. But it doesn't seem like she's hiding any feelings, at least from my point of view. There's none right now. Oh, great. But she hasn't really been alone either.
It's the first boy she's ever seen naked.
He wasn't naked. She saw through his clothes. There's a difference.
Still saw him naked.
She didn't really express any different. She was really indifferent to. I mean, she called it small, but still, she was very indifferent.
She's very indifferent, and yet her eyes went straight for it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. She still like if she just insults him every freaking, and that was before she even knew him either. That's the thing too. Like, why insult a dude you don't even know? I'm just saying, like, she just doesn't display any of the characteristics of a girl that likes him. She just seems so mean. It's like unnecessary. And the worst part too is when I think I'm more upset that she's attacking his like ego when he doesn't seem like he has a lot. So she's attacking it and making it even smaller.
Mhm.
So like, oh, look, that just doesn't seem necessary. Even with the
It is
idea.
unfortunate.
Hmm?
It is pretty unfortunate.
I guess, yeah, he doesn't do anything to make her hate him, but at the same time, it's like she still hates him. I don't think this has anything to do with her being smart. She hates him, as far as I can tell. And she must have a reason for it. Like you said, she has a reason to act. Like, I think she just straight up hates him. I don't know why she does. It's possibly he did something and we don't know because time splits. It's unnecessary. Like her face here, it's. Can I show that on? No, well, I'm showing it on stream. But her face here is just. That's just even in the blue background. It's like she said he's such a pain. And like, why is that necessary? Just like, and then freaking Frieren. I know she heard all of that, but doesn't even chastise her for it. Just like, I don't know.
I think we're going to see something different in future episodes.
I mean, I hope so for Stark's Stark's, mental health. But it's like, I'm telling you, like after that instance, I would have walked away. I would have left the group. Like that would have been enough. Like it's one thing.
It's a good question. Why is he not leaving the group? Why did he decide to come along with this? Is it to learn?
They needed a warrior, and he wanted to go on an adventure so he can have stories to tell his master. Is what he said last episode.
Yeah.
I can't think of any real reasoning why because like he doesn't know them either, other than like Frieren used to be his master's traveling buddy.
Oh wait, we know why he's doing this. Never mind, he said it outright. He's doing this so that he has he's doing this for his master, the dwarf, Eisen.
I said that. He said he wants to take stories back to him to pay him back. I didn't say I last bit pay him back, but I did say he's doing this to go and have adventures to tell his master.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I'm so focused on Fern being so rude. Like I'm really upset with her right now because she's being so rude. I like her otherwise, just like she's very rude for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And all he's trying to do is just be nice to her, and he's getting nothing back. He's getting nothing. And then the whole Mister thing, I'm still very confused by that. He told her
I was confused by that one too. That was like unnecessary.
Were they calling it Mister?
Yeah, unless, like I said, she's overcompensating and trying to create boundaries because she feels a little out of, you know what I mean? Like things are a little too much for her. That's the only explanation that makes any sense to me, that she's like uncomfortable with how like close she feels to him.
Okay, I still think she's just flat out being mean. I mean, again, I understand
But she's not
where you're
a
coming
mean
from.
person.
She's kind of mean to Frieren sometimes. I mean, it's not like it's not like on the same level as she's being mean to him. But it's like, she's kind of mean more like just kind of like pointing out Frieren's flaws and trying to get Frieren to get back on track, stuff like that. Like I guess it's not really mean. It's more like she's just stubborn and she wants to keep moving. But I don't know. I feel like she could be mean. I feel like this is not necessarily not a part of her personality. It's like, again, it's like she grew up with that. I keep on saying corrupt priest, but his name is Hyder.
Hyder, yeah.
She grew up with Hyder. Don't know what's going on there. It doesn't sound like he treated her poorly. Like I don't know. She's being really mean, and I guess maybe though. I guess I'll have to explain it because it just seems kind of weird. Is just they don't know each other, so why is she being so cruel to him? But I don't know. This goes beyond indifference, and it's just like or compensation. It's just like I feel like she could compensate while being mean, but not as cruel. I think it's like she went from being mean to cruel.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I guess to move on from that because I'm harping on that. This year I was gonna harp on it, but like, to move on. After they basically clear out the path for the merchant, they show up in the next town. Actually, the town we're gonna be in for this episode. Uh, I gotta say, when they got here, I was not anticipating there to be demons. I
No?
was
No.
I wasn't thinking about them. I mean, I also didn't think they were gonna just be in town walking around speaking English
Mhm.
like they were. So like, just like I honestly thought demons would have been done. Honestly, like, I thought they would have like because they killed the demon king, so like demons couldn't really do much. They can't like, at least in my thought process, they wouldn't be forming armies and fighting humans. That was the purpose of the demon king. But clearly I was wrong because they got the demons walking around town. They got a demon envoy. And Frieren feels I guess their killing intent, and a sight unseen drops her book and then pulls out her staff and starts charging a magic blast. Immediately. No, like check please. Basically, just like I was like, good lord, she's gonna fire that off in the middle of the town, and it's,
It seems very much like the right choice, though.
I mean, what we know later, yes, but at that time period, I was like, well, wait a minute, can't we? I mean, I wasn't thinking, can we talk to them? But at the same time, I was like, but these seem decent. Maybe these demons aren't bad, and but you know, she's with a fire on them, and then the guards from the town drop on her, because he's the envoy, you know, because he's the envoy for the demon country, whatever you want to say like that. And then one of the I guess it was the king of the town or mayor. He was like, well, I mean, she's like they're adventurers. They don't know what's going on here, and he doesn't blame her. I think he's like he doesn't really blame her because like I mean they would because apparently everybody else in town wants to do that exact same thing too. They just don't because it seems like they're here for peace. So what they do is they end up taking Frieren and putting her in jail, which I was like, that was interesting. Because that old guy shows him a statue earlier, before all that happens, of Frieren in
It's so
town.
reasonable. Her action was so reasonable, and she didn't actually do anything violent. I thought it was really a little shitty that they just went tossed her straight in jail for a couple of years.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. They're there, as far as they know, to have peace talks. They're not there causing problems. Like they haven't done anything based on what we know. They haven't done anything. They just been there talking. Yes, lying, but they've been talking. The demons haven't done anything physically dangerous. So having an adventurer who knows nothing about this town coming in and firing off a magic blast is excessive. Whether she deserves to be put in jail for
She didn't.
3
She just
years.
like was in a defensive position. Then, like she wasn't. She wasn't like firing anything off yet.
No, but she was charging it up. She was gonna fire. They didn't stop her. She was gonna fire sight unseen.
I mean, there's an argument. There's an argument to be made that we don't know that.
Okay, no, this is when I had to fight back on. She literally charged up a beam. What is she gonna do with that? Like
there was a scene later when they cornered the demons in that room with all the guards. When one of the demons in the back charged up a ball of energy in her hands, and like, you know, she didn't use it.
This is Frieren. She's gonna fire.
We don't.
I feel like I know this. I feel like I know she would fire. Sorry.
We know what Frieren's like, but they just see someone like alerted by demons and taking a defensive position and maybe would do that, but they don't. I think it'd be hard for them to say absolute that that's exactly the only possible thing that could have been happening. Like, but it's even if she was like, she saw a fucking demon. Like, it's such a rational response.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, like, it just
And they
like
even give an excuse. They even say, you know what? We think this is a traveler that doesn't understand what's going on. Throw her in jail anyway. Like, they think that she's a traveler that doesn't know what's going on.
well, she really doesn't. She's only making assumptions based off of her interaction. Granted, I'm also gonna back off for people firing, like, light me on a flame. I know the demons are here trying to kill humanity. I'm well aware of it. But I'm just saying, at the time, whenever this is happening, they are an envoy of peace. They don't know that the demons are there going to, like, flat out betray them. Like, you know, like, on top of that, Frieren also, I mean, Frieren spends his entire episode saying the exact same thing. Doesn't change her stance. Not even once. That
Doesn't say a
demons
word to them,
lie.
though. She just lets them pin her down.
I still think
They
if they
come
didn't
up.
stop her, she would have fired that thing. I don't think she would have.
Certainly possible. But what I'm saying is, even if she did, she was firing at a demon. And when they evaluated the situation, they said, you know what? Like, she's a traveler. She probably didn't know what was going on. And that right there, that's your excuse. Oh, you're right. You know what I mean? She's a traveler and she doesn't know what's going on. But they didn't stop there. They went from there and said, like, we'll throw her in jail anyway.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue that throwing her in jail wasn't excessive, but at the same time, it's like you walk into a town you don't know, you pull out a gun and somebody that you recognize, but this person is here doing peace talks or something, whatever they're doing. They're not hurting anybody, but you show up with something that can kill them or hurt them, but they haven't done anything. You know, like, it's like, to these people, they were just kind of here, regardless of how the townspeople see these guys. Frieren shows up ready to have a fight, and it wasn't like Frieren knew that they were going to be here either. She just happened to sense that they were demons. It just like,
yeah, but let's translate this to a different situation. Like, you are a traveler and you visited a large-ish small town, okay? And you have a gun with you legally, and you're walking along, and then 3 bears come tearing around the corner, and you think, "Holy shit, it's a bear!" And you take your gun out and you point, and you've not fired yet. And then suddenly the police tackle you to the ground from behind you and say you're going to jail for 2 years. You'd be like, what the fuck? This is man's mortal enemy. Like, why is this a problem?
At the same time, I'm not like, Frieren had a magic blast on the tip of her spear that she was charging. You can't prove to me that she was not gonna fire that thing, because it looked very much like she was ready to do it. And if they hadn't stopped her, she would have. That's my point of view on that. I don't think it's the same thing as having a gun in your hand, because, like, the gun doesn't exactly charge. You just kind of fires when you pull the trigger. I guess you can consider putting your finger on the trigger the same thing as charging something. So I will give you that in terms of the gun. Yeah, I would be mad, and I'm not saying that her being put in jail was not excessive. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm just saying I feel like they had the right to put her in jail because, like, to them, she's about to fire and ruin peace talks. You know, she, like, regardless that the demons are mankind's worst enemy, they were there trying to make a deal, unbeknownst to them what they were really there to do. It just like. And even the king or whatever his name was kind of was suspicious and was about to slash off this guy's throat, whatever, like that, his head, and he talked him out of it. At the same time, it's like, she had pulled out her staff, ready that thing to fire, like, dead ahead too. Not even giving, like, clearing to the people around him. She was about to fire on demons with people around it. She would have probably murdered those guys, like, accidentally, or at least hurt them.
Hmm.
I feel I feel like she would have gotten worse than like 3 years in prison. I'm not saying that it wasn't excessive. I'm just saying that it just like, to me, it's like from their point of view, they have people here trying to figure out if they can stop this war that they're having specifically in their town.
Hmm.
Putting her in jail, yeah, they probably should have done that considering they know that she doesn't know what's going on. But maybe there's an ulterior motive with putting her in jail that we don't know of yet. It'd be people because like
Yeah.
it does seem strange that nobody recognizes Frieren because it happens every time when she walks into a town. Like nobody seems to recognize her immediately, and then she carries on with that as to not cause a stir. She doesn't seem to take pleasure in her notoriety. Notoriety. It was a good thing. I don't know. It's just one of those things I've noticed about her. It's happened multiple times now. She typically tries to hide who she is, unless she can't. But yeah, they walk into town. Frieren will bust out one of her fire agas. Like I'm still very sure that demon did walk, but the demon just walked around the corner. Um, basically, they put her in jail after they full body football tackle her to the ground, and then make sure I'm not missing anything. I mean, Frieren doesn't seem bothered that she got tackled. Like her face here is just like, oh, you tackled me. How unfortunate.
Yeah, she hits the ground and she's just like, you know what though? It felt demonic. Like it felt like they were trying to draw a parallel um in this to the demons because she's like so rational and unemotional about it.
I mean, yeah, I guess I could see that. I guess also you just reminded me of something I completely forgot to mention, and it's just a small thing. Yep, that you were probably going to bring up anyway, but I'll bring it up regardless. Because now I just remembered it. But I remembered it. Back before they were about to enter the town, that old merchant brings up the fact that he hasn't slid eyes on an elf his entire time of living, and like Frieren is like the first one that he's seen. And then Fern even brings the fact that like actually she hasn't laid eyes on an elf either. I don't think Stark says anything, which makes me kind of curious. But for Frieren brings up an interesting point. I think this is kind of goes back into our talk earlier in this show about like Frieren's life expectancy or whatever like that. Um, so I mean, I don't think it was ever under talk of whether she could die. I just think it was like whether how they die. Well, we got
Mm-hmm.
clarification that there is a life expectancy, at least I think, or at least they do die, and like at some point they will die. I think it's interesting about apparently the elves in this universe. I mean, normally, yeah, it makes sense that they're not really seen by humans because like they like to live by themselves for the most part.
Yeah.
They don't like being they don't like being with other creatures. Um, I still think it's interesting because like even in those cases, humans occasionally see elves no matter what. It's not like the elves can prevent themselves from being seen. It's even more interesting to me that Frieren brings up the fact that elves don't don't have a sexual drive.
I thought that was kind of a cool detail to add to the lore.
I do. But here's the thing: is like I find that intriguing mainly because like okay, for humans, the to preserve our species, that's basically what keeps us humans alive. Like, was this always the case for elves, or did something change? Because it sounds like there might have been more of them around, but now they're kind of going extinct. Like whenever the last elves do die, they won't be any more elves ever because they don't have the need, at least mentally, to want to procreate. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like even Frieren brings up, I guess, almost speaking about it as to herself, which I guess is even more interesting because I did bring up earlier that it makes me kind of wonder if Frieren has a crush on Himmel. now I'm putting that more into question now myself of like maybe she does and maybe she doesn't understand it. I don't know. But it even brings the question too, like, I wonder if Frieren grew up in her hometown or maybe she didn't. Because she
Mhm.
spent time learning magic from a human. Um so I just don't know.
Um,
It's interesting detail that apparently owls just don't have the need to procreate. So I don't know how it sounds like their species is going to disappear because like they don't reproduce. But it sounds like they can. It just they just don't.
yeah, that's fair. Was I gonna say? I'm curious if elves even have like civilizations, or if like when she was born, like they just kind of hung out for a little while and then she wandered off.
I guess, but also that adds into another point. Um, Frieren we kind of learn more about why she sees demons the way she does, and there's a little girl demon that ends up betraying a village that she was with her original group and living, and they were just like watching her. But she brings an interesting point to the demon of like demons don't have traditional families. She says this to it, and she's like wondering why call out to a mother. And then later on, we see that apparently demons don't even know what a father and a mother are. But it brings
Yeah,
it brings up an interesting point when Freeman talks to the demon like that.
I love they're walking off and like the demon's like, "Hey, what is a father anyway?" And he's like, "Fuck if I know."
But I just think interesting because you said I wonder do they have traditional like you know villages? I would think they would. Like because it almost sounds like that Freeman knows what a mother and a father are, and she knows what a family is based off of based off of what she's telling the demon. But I also would make the caveat in the devil's advocate of like maybe because your whole idea of like maybe they're relaying that elves and demons are more similar than we realize. Um, maybe she's also relaying. Maybe what she is relaying more likely is that maybe she understands that they don't understand what a father and a mother and a family is, and she doesn't understand why a demon would bother using the word mother, which granted she realizes. I mean, she relays that demons say that because it disarms humans, um, which is true. Uh, it disarms them and makes them easier to kill. So it just is interesting because I thought about that. So you brought up like I wonder like because she's very feral here when she sees the demons, and it's like I would go further than feral. She was feral. She was like mouth watering. She had rabies trying to kill those guys. But yeah, I just don't know. It definitely did seem interesting, like how fast everything kind of just escalated quickly. I also want to point out, even after Frieren gets put in jail, and then Fern and Stark are concerned, and Frieren acting like Frieren says, "Well, I'm in here for 3 years. Can you give me some tomes?" I'm just like, "Dang it, Frieren!"
Uh-huh.
And then they walk away, and she's like, "Don't forget my tomes." So I was like, "Frieren, what the heck?" Again, not concerned at all about time.
I gotta say though, in her defense, like at least it's something to do.
I mean, she doesn't say I not like I got myself locked up here on purpose. Part of me wonders
Mhm.
if that's true or not. But after all of that happens, and they're trying to look for a way to deal with everything, um, the demons we're seeing are talking with the humans, and they're conversing, and the king or mayor or whatever draws a sword, his son's sword, on the demon, the head demon, and as he's about to kill him for his son's death, the demon does what all demons do apparently at this point, which is utilize speech to disarm humans. And uses the word like using "you killed my father," and I kept his room the same. And he's apparently disarmed, and his heart is melted like an idiot. Uh, so, sorry, it just seemed so dumb that was how to
That
disarm
turned it
him,
all around.
huh?
Yeah, that's what turned it all around. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
stupid. Um,
But he puts the sword away, and he says, "You stay in the guest rooms. I had to think about this." because they're offering peace, peace talks and stuff like that, offering peace to end everything. The demons walk out as they're walking to their room, and then, as you said earlier, the girl asks, "What's a father?" And he's like, "I don't know." It's like,
Mhm.
and then I think even earlier he says like, Frieren was right about us. That we do use speech to, mess around with humans. But I thought was
Mhm.
interesting. So I'm actually kind of curious, what do they actually sound like when they're not speaking English? But it was just really, it was like, wow, like Frieren was freaking right. I was totally expecting them to pull like a 180 and show that these demons are different, but like, well, they're not. Because their plan, and they reveal it in their guest room, that they're intending to gain humans' trust and then have them bring down the barrier that's around the village, as a sign of good faith, and that's what they're going to attack. I wonder.
Meanwhile, Fern's probably thinking every fucking time.
Actually, I mean, I think she does, because like I think you see her in the cage. She says like, "I know how this is going to end, and it's not going to end well. I'm going to use
Chaos.
the chaos and confusion to escape." I thought that was kind of cruel, from, at least from her.
That's what I think. I really think a big part of what they're doing here is trying to like raise the question of raise the similarities between the way Frieren is operating with the way the demons operate. I think they're trying to like deliberately kind of nod to that. Do you know what I mean? Like Frieren's. I'm not saying they're saying that Frieren is a demon, but I think they're sort of giving it a little nod that like Frieren has a few personality traits that are not completely non-demon like, you know?
No, I understand that. It is like when she said that, I was like, is she gonna leave this village to die? Is that her plan? I was like,
Mm-hmm.
she isn't very specific about what she's gonna do after she leaves, but it's just like, it almost seems like she's intending to let this place die. But
Well, I think her in that moment, I think she's like, I don't have a chance to escape until there's chaos.
even with
Like
that, oh,
until there's chaos. But then she's like, but when the time comes, I'm leaving.
meanwhile, Spirit Magic Hammer is dying over here trying to get what you trying to say out. I'm not happy.
she's I'm sorry, she seems to be suggesting that like when the time comes and she's able to escape, she's just gonna leave.
I mean, that's what I got, was like, she's gonna let these people die. But I know Fern's gonna raise a stink about that. But yeah, like after like the demons kind of reveal, apparently one of the demons ends up walking away, and apparently he didn't realize that he did, the guy with the bowl cut. And like the demon walks to the where the where Frieren is being imprisoned, and Frieren senses him before he gets to the door, and she looks up, like, I was told the visiting hours are over. And then he's like, I'm gonna kill you so that way our plan can still happen. Because I was like, good lord, like, they are just not hiding their bloodlust at all, are they? And that's where the episode ends.
Mm-hmm.
And I was totally expecting it to end at some point, because they were doing a lot of background building up instead of dealing with a lot of action. So I was like, yeah, we're not gonna see this in this episode. But yeah, I enjoyed that episode. I like those small bits. I like learning about the elves, or at least Frieren letting us know more about elves. Uh, the Stark Fern thing, I still think Fern was so rude. But that's another thing I actually want to bring up. It's like is that at the beginning of the episode when we saw the landslide, and the guy made mention that normally landslides do happen, but apparently this one was odd because this one seemed to have been caused by the skirmishes happening around it. I thought that was
Oh,
interesting.
that's kind of observant. Like, I wonder if they're hinting that something's going to happen. Like, wonder if that's like foreshadowing or a hint about a story beat that's going to come up.
I guess maybe, but I just know they brought it that apparently it normally happens, of like, typically something like that will happen. So maybe we'll see more of them later on.
Mm-hmm. That's yeah. There's that might be a hint about something that they're coming up to, that they're getting close to. I like that you pointed that out, because I took it as just like a casual conversation thing, but like you're right, like that does suggest that there's something a little more to it.
I mean, I reason brought it because I just noticed it because he said it. These normally happen, but at the same time, this one didn't happen by natural means. I think even Stark said something about that. Behind he like I thought these are normal, but that's another thing too. Is like, apparently the demon armies are still fighting. So I guess I shouldn't have thought that demons wouldn't show up in the same episode they get mentioned, but it just, they was like, they don't bring up demons that much anymore. Um, Leading up to now, we hadn't seen one. In fact, I didn't even know they existed. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that as we were watching this show. I was like, are we going to see demons again? Because I thought when they got rid of the Demon King, that means the demons wouldn't be a problem anymore. But I guess they're demons. They're going to still want to cause chaos. But yeah, it's still that there's still like, even with all that knowledge in mind, like them walking around town and acting like people did catch me off guard. And also with how human they look, it's like, huh.
Hmm. The human, yeah, they've got the horns, which is sort of a dead giveaway, but yeah.
I guess that's all I have to say. I'm pretty sure you got notes. Pretty sure there's plenty you got that I didn't catch.
No, I don't have a lot of notes.
No.
I liked at the beginning of the episode that right off the bat you see Stark like already having like some culture shock, like with Frieren, like he still hasn't adjusted to like the cues that Fern's giving him, that like something is not quite right about a life with Frieren. Like she wakes up and he's like, oh my god, you woke up early, and she's like flipping out like this is the greatest thing in the world, and he's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I thought that was really funny, that like he was just like, dude, like she got up early, like why are we flipping out? I don't understand. That he will understand. And I like that little like comic like thing being set up here, that like it's clearly going to be an ongoing thing where like his journey to slowly realize that like this is his new life and his new horrible reality. So I got a kick out of that. I noticed the same thing about the elves maybe going extinct, which adds sort of a tragic element to Frieren's story. I wanted to know why she left the other elves. Like it started making me wonder about like her past in general. So I started wondering, like, you know what I mean? Like, I hinted at this earlier, but like, do elves have civilizations? Do they just kind of show up and hang out with each other until they're old enough or bored enough to leave? Do they? I don't know. Do they have anything like that? You know what I mean? It was just sort of an interesting beat to me that we don't know anything about Fern. We don't know. You know, maybe she has a tragic backstory. Like she's talking about something fairly tragic in sort of a casual way, which again, like, sort of plays on that whole like Frieren, you know what I mean, is someone that's not incredibly different than a demon anyway, kind of moment. You know what I mean? Because like we see that like she's just really casual about it. She's like, yeah, we don't, you know, we're just kind of, my people are dying out, and there's no like sentimentality to it or anything like that. So like it did make me kind of wonder what the story is there. Do you know what I mean? Like, does she have a tragic backstory that in her eyes is no big deal? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess I don't. I mean, I mean, the whole they don't. It makes me. I mean, I guess like I never thought about, do they have civilization? I feel like they got to, if they know what procreation is. Now, I'm not saying that procreation immediately means that you know what living a civilized life is like, but it doesn't seem to me like elves are savages. Maybe because at
But
least
maybe they also don't seem like very. She doesn't. Frieren, at least being the only elf we know of, doesn't seem particularly to mind that her species is going extinct. She sort of notices it. Like she's like, "Oh yeah, I was aware of that." But like, you don't get the feeling that like it's not like a tragic story to her. It's just like, just kind of what happened.
well, I mean, if they don't like, I mean, if the whole extinction thing, if she knows that why it's happening is because they don't procreate a lot, or if they kind of stopped. I'm wondering if she knows
Uh-huh.
why it stopped, because I will say it sounds like there was a point that they were doing it a lot, and then apparently maybe they stopped. Though I mean, elves in any type of fantasy get different freaking backstories. There are some like versions of stories I heard where the procreation happens like as like a festival thing. All the elves go into heat, and then like they don't stop. Like having courting each other, and then they have kids that way. It doesn't sound like that's what happens to the elves here. In fact, from the way she makes it sound like they just don't have a need. But it kind of makes me wonder: is it an Amazon thing, like where maybe they leave and they don't come back? So I will say it's kind of weird that Frieren left, but at the same time, we know why Frieren left though. She went to go and learn magic from Flame, who apparently is the origin of all magic. I completely forgot to even mention that, but apparently they kind of casually bring it up, but Flame is kind of how the magic world got started. So she learned from the originator from it all. How long she was with her, I don't know, but she must have been with her long enough. She may have a backstory, a tragic backstory. I don't know. A lot of characters have tragic backstories. This show doesn't seem to be any different from that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like it might be a backstory that was tragic to us as we're thinking about it, but not particularly tragic to her. You know, like we might be like, "Holy shit!" Like that's a big deal for Aaron. Excuse me, you know what I mean? And she might be like, "I don't care," So the elder did. Like, what's the big deal? Do you know what I mean? We could have stopped it. We didn't want to. It's like it was our choice.
I guess that's the interesting thing because they said they like that old guy said he didn't think he was ever going to lay an eye on an elf his entire
Mhm.
life. It's like that kind of gives a scarcity to the whole elf thing. But also, they live for so long too. Maybe that's the reason. Like, maybe it's possible. Maybe their long lives has something to do with their non-procreation.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point of humans. I mean, I keep going, but like a part of the reason why humans procreate is because it's to keep the species going. Because we don't live for a long time. Like we have a time. We are like a ticking time bomb. So we need to keep us species been going. That's why we do it. It would make sense maybe if a species that doesn't have that problem, maybe they just wouldn't need it. But again, it sounds like Frieren knows what it is, and she knows that it's how you make more of them, and this doesn't seem like it's a big thing. It makes me kind of curious: are all elves like her, or is she just the odd one out?
Um, I don't know. It's hard to tell, isn't it? It's hard to tell for sure.
Oh, we need another elf, but we haven't seen that. And as far as I know, they still exist. It's just like they're very few and far between. Which also makes it seem like I guess Frieren hasn't met another elf in her life. I think she does say that too. She hasn't seen another elf
It's
herself.
in 400 years, yeah.
But it sounds like they're still around, and she just hasn't met them. She hasn't met another one since.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of sad. I don't know. Like I guess ultimately the question is like, what led? If there's a reason behind why they don't propagate, it'd be interesting to know the answer to that because she kind of does bring it up, kind of just casually, like, oh, we don't, we don't fuck. We just, we kind of just exist as like, what? It's like, because they stay young looking for a long time, so you'd be surprised that they don't exactly like, have mates. And on top of it, she doesn't seem all that concerned about finding a mate either. I think she even brings that up too. She doesn't even know if she's gonna, or she even has a desire to still do it or the ability to do it. But I guess it's also still sad. It's like,
Um, she didn't. I don't know. We the problem with Frieren is like she usually reacts after the fact, so we don't know what type of reaction she'd have if she actually met an elf. Like it could be a lot, it could be almost nothing. It's hard to tell with her. Do you know what I mean? Because what would happen at first wouldn't be the story afterwards. Like she would have like an immediate reaction, and then she'd have a secondary reaction, like she does with other things, where she sort of comes around later. You know?
I mean, I know. I'm not just saying. I think for me, it's like I don't know. I brought up the question of I wonder if she has feelings for Himmel that she didn't know she had. But unfortunately, we really won't know that until she sees Himmel again. But, or supposedly sees Himmel. I mean, we're going to a place that we don't know what's actually going to work on that. But yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it goes either way. It is kind of sad, the whole elf population thing. But I mean, I guess to give a good explanation towards why we haven't seen them, because for the most part, they could have easily gone the other way. It's like they're just a very secretive folk. And they're not seen as often as you think they would be. No,
Or we just
they're
haven't
going
come
extinct.
across, or we just haven't come across an elf population.
Yeah. No, they're just going extinct. It's like, oh, okay, jeez. Or we will be going extinct. It doesn't sound like they're going extinct yet, but it sounds like Frieren knows that they will eventually.
Yeah. Anyway.
And that's sex. I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Why do you think that Fern Stark didn't defend Frieren when she got like pinned down by the guards?
It probably happened so dang fast they didn't know what to say. And again, I feel like she would have still fired on them. It's just like it's one of those things. I don't think that they could have defended Frieren because like Frieren would have immediately negated anything that they said.
What about physically defend them? Like they could have taken that group.
Yeah, they did be sitting. They'd be sitting in the same jail cell that she would be. I think they're a lot more level-headed than Frieren is. And I think that's like really what led them not to do anything. They knew they couldn't help her if they were in the same jail cell as she was.
Yeah. I just meant like when the first guard goes to knock at them, like Stark could have just knocked him out of the way, or like when they knocked her on the ground, they could have he could have thrown her off of him, and then Frieren could have gotten up. And Frieren didn't even ask for help; she just kind of like sat there complacently, like calculating, like, well, this isn't the time to fight, you know.
I mean, again, that he would be in the same jail cell as she would be, and he wouldn't be any good to her there. I don't think, regardless of however they would have responded, it would have ended well for them. That's what I'm saying. I think they would be in jail if they tried defending her physically.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she got pinned.
I think they could. I think they could have fought their way out of the situation personally,
and they would be in jail. I don't think that would have changed. Is what I'm saying. I don't think the ending would have changed, regardless of what they did.
Why do you think that? Why do you think they wouldn't have been able to fight their way out of this situation? They've taken way better, tougher things on than a few guards.
They would be put in jail. This is how the law, because
you have to be stopped. If you're fighting the law has to overpower you before they put you in jail. If you don't agree to go to jail,
they would literally be on the run. I know Frieren wants to hang out in this town. I mean, like she would be forced to leave. I mean, Frieren would be happy and elated, but at the same time, it's like I know Frieren would want to stay here for what reason I don't know. They did come this town for some really good reason. I don't remember. Man, I see what you mean. Like how could they be put in jail if they stop? Well, I don't know. I feel like they still would have gotten in trouble somehow. I don't know. Like it feels like one of those situations like they would have gotten rid of one obstacle and another obstacle would have shown up.
Maybe.
Especially with the demons out there too. Like I mean, let's say the demons wouldn't like use this as an opportunity to gain more favor with the humans. Random like ragtag group of like adventurers come in and they don't know what's going on. They cause a ruckus. The demons that the demons that they don't like suddenly save them. What a better what a like what like I mean what's better for the demons at this point?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how powerful the demons are, and I guess Frieren could have taken them out. I mean, I don't know what she would. Again, I still don't know if she probably would have taken them out, but I don't know. It just feels like to me it would have ended positively if they did anything more than what they did. I think they were looking for a way to get her out, and on top of it, they probably weren't expecting her to be put in jail either. That's the other thing too. I think they were just like they were hoping that all that was going to happen is that everyone was going to get a warning, and then they were going to move on. Because they were shocked when they put her in cuffs. At least Fern was.
Mm.
So I don't like. My answer is like I don't think they were expecting her to get arrested, which is why I don't think that's why they did anything.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I didn't expect her to get arrested. Like I said, there was a moment where I was like, really? Like, they can't just chalk this up as a misunderstanding and say, don't do that? You know what I mean? Don't do that thing you didn't necessarily do.
They were peace envoys. They didn't want to broker any ill will. They were the humans working under the expectation that demons are here just to talk. You know, like they don't want to anger them. So if they feel like they were threatened, which I mean they didn't say anything, but of course humans are gonna overreact just to make sure that everything is copacetic.
So my next thing I saw was the a sort of a tie-in with Himmel. You know, in this when they do the backstory when Himmel is like fighting the demon and he he's got its life in his hands and he goes, no, let's give it another chance, and he's like committed to it. Do you know what I mean? And he and then you see him smiling approvingly, you know what I mean, through the whole thing. He saves it because it talks. And it's interesting how Frieren makes it a big point to throw Fawn in a sink or swim situation. And just an episode or two ago, when they're like out with the ghost spirits in the woods, where she's like, are you going to be able to do this? You know what I mean? And like she explains like what they do, and it's the exact same type of enemy. It's this demon thing, you know what I mean? And I thought that was kind of interesting how Fern was like, we are going to go straight to this thing and you're going to learn how to deal with it.
Me, Frieren?
Yeah, Farron brings Fawn straight into the woods to fight that demon thing. Remember? Like the
a ghost or a monster. I didn't think it was a demon.
Well, even if it was just a ghost, like still a monster, a bad guy that wants to get you, that use the same type of strategy. You know what I mean? Like manipulating your emotions by using words and using your goodwill against you.
Well, that didn't occur to me. I actually did not.
Excuse me?
That didn't occur to me.
Yeah.
That monster encounter didn't occur to me.
But it makes sense, doesn't it? Like she's like, yeah, we're gonna make sure that you are prepared for this right away. The first chance we get.
I guess I feel like if I was Frieren, I would have wanted to prepare her on a demon, but I guess she didn't have one at the ready. I guess yeah, did. Yeah, that's my. That's
Anyway, I thought that.
No,
Go ahead.
I just like one quick thing. I thought you were referring to when Himmel was shaking with his hand, with the sword in his hand, and Frieren had approached him from behind, saying, are you sure you can do this?"
Yeah, she is like because Himmel couldn't do it. You know what I mean? And to an extent, so she makes sure that like she's got her through a similar situation. All right, so what else do I have? Do you think that demon was actually trying, the one that like killed the daughter to make up for what she did? Do you think that demon was actually trying to make it right, or do you think she just like killed everybody and then like thought, well, here's my way I can survive after that to kill some more?
I think at first it was, but
Hmm.
that didn't last long. And where I'm going with this is, I think she gave up well earlier before,
Mhm.
much like pretty much earlier before she killed the guy that gave her goodwill. I think she gave up because she had made mention, well, most of the time that she was staying there, everybody was looking at her with contempt. Um, so I don't think she really gave it much of a go. I think she did want to live, and she wanted to live with the humans, but it was probably maybe some minor ulterior motive with that she was intending to do, because um it seemed more than ignorance of the human situation than anything else, because she definitely killed the guy who saved her. Um, and she ate the daughter of the previous people to take on that
Mhm.
appearance. So, and then she goes on later to say, she disarms people with using mother, because that disarms humans. So a part of me thinks is maybe like 25, 75. 25 that she wanted to live with the humans, but 75 she wanted to eat them. I think that's a fair split. My brain, anyway. I don't know if she truly. A part of me thinks that she probably like a little piece of me thinks that maybe she wanted to live there with the humans,
Mhm.
but considering the demons appeared to not be trustworthy, um, I can't really trust that.
That's fair. I had a feeling that it was just like the demon failing to adapt to the situation.
I mean, it's clear they could take on human form. I just don't know why they don't attempt to live with humans. That's like one thing I'm very confused with. I guess if there's ever a question I do have,
Mhm.
specifically about the demon species themselves, if they are capable of learning human speech, and taking on human appearances, why don't they try to integrate? Because is there a reason why they don't, and why they choose to eat humans? But probably doesn't need an answer. They're evil, but still, it's a question I do have. They display traits that are questionable to me.
Um, at 1830, when she's just chilling in the cell, I didn't understand why she can't just leave at any moment. She really doesn't have a spell that can get her out of that cell. It didn't seem likely. It seemed like she should be able to just leave.
She says she can't leave unless there's the confusion. I honestly think
If nothing else, she could just blow a hole in like the wall. Like we know she can blow holes in boulders and stuff.
everything should be wanted for the rest of her life.
What?
Then should be wanted for the rest of her life.
I guess so. They're not very smart about identifying people. They don't even recognize her as Frieren, even though they were like she was standing directly in front of it. Like statue of her.
Wouldn't
You're
matter
like,
because
oh, you
they got a view of her
sort of
now.
look not unlike that person. I'm like, dude, really?
No, but they got a view of her now. Like, it's like it wouldn't matter the statue. Just like they just put a photo of her because they got her photo. They put it on a wanted poster and they just plastered it everywhere. If not one town, another town will find her. And that just make Frieren's journey even worse because now she can't hang around in towns and sleep in beds and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fair. She's like, I like laying in beds too much.
Yeah, she could do anything, but at the same time, it doesn't benefit her to do it.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I liked that it was a cliffhanger episode, even though I also hated that it was a cliffhanger episode.
Most of the show's been cliffhangers.
What?
Like, to me, most of the show has been cliffhangers.
I haven't felt very cliffhangery about a lot of it, but like in this particular case, like I I was like, really? I want to know how she.
Oh.
The thing is, though, like even as I say that, I know that what's going to happen is she's just going to one shot this dude. She's already said exactly how powerful she is compared to him. And so she's just going to one shot him in the beginning of the next episode, probably.
He's probably a lot more powerful than we think he is. He doesn't seem all that concerned.
He doesn't seem that concerned, but like she sold herself not very well when she said, "I'm stronger than your boss," because she's actually stronger than their boss's boss.
I mean, you say that, but she still let what's her name, Anaya, whatever her name is, get away. And doesn't explain why she got away.
She killed the Demon King, you know. So like maybe one of the Demon King's like servants got away, but like she certainly, certainly wasn't because she can't beat him.
Did she really kill the Demon King? I thought that was Himmel. I guess we don't know that yet because we don't know that yet. But
I mean, they got together and killed the Demon King, so it wasn't her soloing it, but she is the reason that her boss's boss died. You know what I mean? She didn't. So when she said, "I'm actually stronger than your boss," like that's nice and everything, but like I feel like she's not selling herself to be as intimidating as she possibly could. Like if she was really, and she's completely bored. Like she's swinging her legs back and forth while she's talking to him, like waiting for him to stop talking because she's like, this is not interesting to her, and like
I gotta
there's not
it for you. When she says like I'm stronger than I killed your boss, maybe she's not referring to the dude that you think she's referring to. She could actually be referring to the Demon King.
No, I think she was referring to the. Actually, it's his boss's boss because she says like, I don't think that guy with the horns is the one that is their boss there. I think there's a boss above that.
Yeah, the Demon King.
A boss between the Demon King and the guy with the horns. But I'm not sure.
You talking about the in this or whatever her name is? I forgot her name, but they bring her up and she got away. I mean, I'm just saying, like, apparently according to Frieren, she somehow got away, and I don't think they explained how she got away. It's that she just did, because they pushed her back only for her to get away, and she went into hiding, and now she's back, and now they're the ones fighting for her forces. So she's somewhere around there, but again, I don't know if she's there. She might be someplace else. I highly doubt. This is just my point of view. I highly doubt they bring up this general only for her to be there in the town that they just walk up in. Granted, I don't know. She might just walk in saying, "Oh yeah, Frieren, I want to go see her," but at the same time, it's like, but no, because that dude went off to go kill her himself. He didn't do that because somebody told him to. I feel like she might have been referring to the Demon King. I could buy that she was referring to the Demon King. Because I don't know why she
Yeah,
would. Because I don't know why she would refer. I don't know why she would tell him that she's stronger than that dude that's currently sitting in the um in the guest room. Because I don't think his status really means anything to him. That's just my point of view. Because he already went off and defied him already. Like, why would you defy somebody you're afraid of?
right.
So the problem is just sitting here like, there is no way. Because like, I mean, if she was stronger than him, and if he did revere him of any kind, like, okay, that'd be different. That's like, I feel like she could be referring to. I'm not saying this is 100%. I'm just saying like it would make sense that she's referring to the Demon King when she says your boss. Because all demons would, I would think, refer to the Demon King as their boss. And then there's also the other thing too. Maybe there's another Demon King that Frieren don't know about yet. Who the heck really
Yeah, but like,
knows?
how would she even know that she was talking about her boss in that moment? Like, because she doesn't even like, I don't know, like she doesn't even. Why would that person think that that's what she was talking about? Because that person's been dead for like, I don't know, a long time at this point.
Him being dead doesn't really mean anything about his power. Like, I mean, all demons feared him, and if you're stronger than the person they feared, but I guess another thing too. Now I'm actually thinking about it, really thinking about it. She does bring up when he's talking to her. She does bring up that girl or that demon girl, and she's like, "Oh, is she back?" And that's where the episode gets cut off. So I guess maybe she could be referring to the general. But at the same time, I don't like. I guess I personally wouldn't like if the general was here in the next episode, in the town that they're in right now, because I feel like that's opportunity wasted if they decide to use her and then get her killed off immediately.
Yeah,
But I would almost prefer if like Frieren got a scent of her and then realized, oh, she's nearby and I can chase her down now and finish what I did. That'd be an interesting few episodes of like watching her chase her down. Um, I know, like, I mean, somebody that got away from Frieren's got to want to get her, kill her, and want her dead now. So, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just speculating right now. I don't like. I mean, if she is here, I can't do anything about it, and she's just gonna get dead immediately. It's gonna be disappointing, but oh well. I mean, will the guy that she's talking to die immediately? Probably. I mean, though I don't know if she's got her staff or not. I don't know if they confiscated all that stuff because she doesn't have her suitcase.
Mhm.
Her magic suitcase of holding her, you recognized. You just called it. I was like, wait, that's a suitcase of holding. What the heck? You actually got a point there. That's a small suitcase. I wasn't even thinking about it. I think I'm so used to D&D, I just completely, like, okay, that's just normal. Magic bag. Um, got anything more? Just add notes, thoughts, suggestions,
I
queries.
don't think so. I'll check my notes real quick one more time, but I don't think so. No, I had that note to myself to bring up the parallels between the demons and stuff like that, but we covered that.
Is it? I guess the demons. Speaking of demons, I guess we can end on this. It's interesting that Frieren does say that demons don't. So some of the demons reproduce, that they just don't take care of their young. I wonder how often that is and how many demons exist. And if that is the case, is it possible to mold a demon to be respectable as they get older? If they don't have the the influence of the other demons around, especially if they look the way they do, if they can straight up look human with horns. Um,
What are you asking? I'm sorry. You're say part of that again.
no, I was just like my thought process, like when Frieren brought up that demons don't have the family structure that normal humans and other creatures apparently do. If they do, just they do because they do reproduce. They just don't take care of their children, and the children live on their own. Like I wonder if it's possible to raise a demon to be respectable in the human world. For them to like being around humans and eat their food and whatnot. Like would it be possible to like I guess nurture versus nature of that thing, see what happens. Certain demons don't, take care of their children. Like I think it'd be possible if you could find a demon, maybe you can, raise it. That was just a thought I had. Nothing important.
It's not bad. Um, but it looks like the pattern for situations like that is that it looks like starts out feeling like a good idea and quickly turns into a terrible idea. So I'm guessing that's where it would go.
Well, that demon, well, the demon in question you're talking about, like that one had already been eating humans for a while, I believe. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I have a feeling of just with the way things seem to be happening in this show that it would start out seeming like it might not be a bad idea, and then it would turn into a terrible idea.
Which kind of sucks because it kind of throws out the idea that maybe they're gonna add a demon character to the main roster, but based on the way they're acting, there's no way that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But, I guess with that, I don't really got much to say. Another short one. I think that's cool. That's good. Not much more to say, but see you guys Thursday for more Metroid. See you whenever I do more Resident Evil, and we'll see you guys after Thursday next week on Monday and review the next episode, part 2 of this crazy shenanigans that are happening in this town. Good night, everybody.
Good nobbin. I'm sorry I didn't have a lot more notes for this one.